What's going on, guys? In today's video, we are discussing the best illustration rares to invest in under $500 in this current market. A lot of you guys are just looking to make money, grow your collection smartly, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Before we jump in, make sure you guys are subscribing, trying to hit 4,000 subs, liking the video. And yeah, anytime you guys are shopping on eBay, click this link, help support the channel. If you want to buy something on my website, PokeKingShop.com, code YouTube5 for new buyers, 5% off. We have everything pitch black, all the new products, awesome deals. Check it out. So yeah, let's start off with Paldea Evolved. This is a home run pick. We know we have a gold border, exact same artwork. So this is essentially going to be a reprint. 30th anniversary. They're looking back and they're reprinting a lot of cards. They're even going as far back as Aquapolis. There's a Crystal Lugia that's going to be reprinted. But, specifically for the illustration, where I actually had a few clients, a few people in our wholesale group that DM'd me. Again, if you guys do want to get under market pricing on English factory sealed cases, there's the link in the video description down below. But I had a few of our wholesale members asking what I think about the reprint of these cards and if it's going to tank the value of the original card. And I actually think quite the contrary. I think the Pokemon Company reprinting and kind of bringing the spotlight back to a really good card is actually going to make the original copy more valuable. Because effectively what's going to happen is people who were not around during the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, this is Paldea Evolve, which is the second set, so this is 2023. If you weren't around in the 2023, 2024 Scarlet and Violet era, then you have no idea about this Magikarp. Okay, if you're a new person joining the hobby, all you know is Mega Evolution. So what the Pokemon Company is doing is they are now bringing the spotlight to older sets. And what's going to happen is when that set comes out, people who are going to be opening the 30th anniversary packs are going to be like, hey, this Magikarp's really cool. Where does it originally come from? And that is going to bring more spotlight on this original copy, which is going to drive the value up. Now, here we are looking at a damaged copy, which is 190, but near mint, it's right around 400 bucks, which again is still under our budget. But this is going to be your best of breed, absolute chase card. This illustration or Magikarp, I'll even go as far as saying it's better than any SIR in this set. Like if you were opening Paldea Evolved, you really want to be hitting a Magikarp. Whether you're opening sleeve packs, booster bundles, build and battle decks, it doesn't matter what it is. The chase in Paldea Evolved is this Magikarp. Now, for those who don't know, there's an Easter egg right here of a Gyarados. Again, just the attention to detail. It is one of the coolest cards that has been created, and it's Magikarp. When's the next time the Pokemon Company is going to make a really cool Magikarp card? I'm still waiting for them to create a awesome Gyarados card. So the fact remains that this card is going to be super, super popular. Shifting on to Black Bolt. Now, this is a specialty set that nobody really cared about upon release. I would say, at least for my business, the excitement was there for the first week, maybe 2 weeks, and then it kind of faded. And what happened is the prices went down, and then out of nowhere, you just couldn't get more products. I remember I had a distributor basically begging me to take White Flare Black Bolt ETBs for like 70, 80 bucks. At the time, I took a few cases, whatever, maintaining good relationships, but now you can't even find them. They are like, I don't know what they are right now, but if I had to guess, maybe like 150 bucks in ETB. But needless to say, Seismitoad is going to be your best of breed, top chase illustration rare out of Black Bolt. Now, if you have a budget in between the $100 to $500 range, you really do not want to cheap out and you want to be buying the best of breed. Now, Seismitoad by no means is it like popular. I actually don't even know why this is the chase card, but for whatever reason, the market has decided that this is the best card in the set as far as illustration rare goes. Now, it is a pretty nice artwork. This background right here, it almost looks as if it was designed by like a colored pencil and it was just kind of drawn by hand, which is really, really cool. The colors are definitely vibrant on it. It's a cool card. I think if you're flipping through a binder or something like that, you are going to enjoy this card. But by no means is Seismitoad like a crazy popular Pokemon. But again, this era, this specialty set focuses specifically on the black and white era Pokemon. I think there are cooler copies, like Oshawott is a good example, but not nearly as expensive. This one is pushing 250 plus. And just even looking at the market price history, I mean, Meteoric Rise was a $120 card, 255. At a low of 120. So it was never even under $100. It was always a top tier card. And what's fascinating about this one is if the Pokemon Company does not reprint Black Bolt, which there's a very low chance since, again, the focus needs to be on 30th anniversary. It needs to be on Delta Rain, the upcoming Rayquaza set, and everything else that they have planned throughout the release schedule. I do not expect them to be hitting us with more supply. Between the specialty sets, if I had to bet, I would be betting on another Prismatic Evolutions reprint because that is like the set that everybody wanted. That's when the market was furious. That's when the Pokemon Company made a statement that, hey, we're going to turn our printers on max capacity. We're going to give you guys more Prismatic Evolution. So I'm not betting on there being more Black Bolt. And what that's going to cause is this card to go in a frenzy. And you are going to see this Seismitoad hit the same levels of the Magikarp anywhere from $400 to $500. All it's going to take is time. You don't have to do anything. If you have this card, hold, do not sell it because it is prone to go up in value. Shifting focus, Stellar Crown is another excellent example of a set that, again, was weak upon release. Nobody really wanted it. And quickly you realize that, hey, the Pokemon Company never printed more. So whatever got made, that's all there was. And, people weren't really ordering. A lot of people were fire sailing. I remember wholesalers, people were struggling moving Stellar Crown. It was just one of those sets that there wasn't really excitement. Nobody really cared about the Terapagos. But one thing that always made this set extremely unique is going to be the Squirtle illustration rare and the Bulbasaur. Now, this near mint sub 150 is going to be a super strong buy. It is an excellent artwork. Initially we got the Japanese copy. It was actually a promo on the Japanese side. This is an actual set card in the Stellar Crown set, and it is best of breed. Again, it is going to be carrying the value of the Stellar Crown sealed product. And if you're able to get near mint copies still under even $200, it's going to be a super strong buy. The fact that Seismitoad is over 200 and there's far less people that know who Seismitoad is compared to Squirtle. Squirtle will definitely get there. Again, it's just going to take a little bit of time. And Bulbasaur is another good copy to, I think if you are interested in picking these up, go for both because you have the Pidgey featured on the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur. It just matches so perfectly as well. Both of these Pokemon here are, this one's on the balcony, the Bulbasaur is indoors. They just kind of go hand in hand together, obviously from the same set. Here we have a light play copy right around 115. Same thing, get a near mint copy. Oh, we even have near mint copies. Oh, hang on, that's Chinese, never mind. Near mint 110. 111, still way under that 150 price point. It is going to be a really strong buy. Anytime you guys are shopping for singles, I personally recommend buying them on eBay because many times you can see exactly what you're buying, whereas on TCG, you're just kind of going off of the condition and everyone's conditioning is different. Like you could buy a near mint, a seller could send you a 7 copy. You could buy near mint and a seller could send you like an 8 to 9 copy on a grading scale, that is. I highly recommend shopping on eBay. Anytime you guys are shopping on eBay, highly recommend clicking the link because it helps support the channel at no additional cost. If you hit this link, it's going to be directed to my store. You guys can take a look at all the single cards we have to offer. We also have 2 separate categories specifically for Japanese and English. We are uploading hundreds of cards every single day, and the goal is to just have an awesome selection of cards. We want to be your one-stop shop, but if you guys aren't really interested in singles too much, we also have graded cards and sealed products, so I do appreciate anyone who is directly supporting the channel by purchasing on our eBay store. Next up on the list, we have Groudon from Paradox Rift. This is another really, really good card. The volcano, the eruption, you have it by the water. All I hope is that the Pokemon Company eventually gives us a top tier illustration rare of Kyogre. I think if we get a Kyogre, this Groudon is just going to absolutely explode in price because everybody who gets the Groudon initially upon release, or the Kyogre upon release, is going to want to go back and buy the Groudon. Now, this card as it is super undervalued. 140 is a crazy price point. The fact that Paradox Rift still hasn't gotten really much up in price. Boxes are like 300. It's crazy to me. In my eyes, that's a $500 booster box. Paradox Rift is a top tier set. You got the Groudon, you got the Garchomp, and I think just those 2 Pokemon alone are already carrying so much value, and it is much better than something like a Stellar Crown, in my opinion. Yet you see that the prices of Stellar Crown are higher, so I think Paradox Rift is just prone to continue going up in price. I mean, the individual singles have been moving up. You could see here in March, February, the Groudon was like 75, 80, pushed it up to 120. But again, if Seismitoad can hit 250, Groudon can hit 250. Same thing, just give it time. This is going to be a really, really obvious buy. Now, if you want a very safe play, I don't necessarily know about on a percentage return because in the past 6 months, this Pikachu has already gone up 110%. But the 151 Pikachu is a super safe place to park your money because 151 is one of those sets that just gets shredded. The supply continues to go down and down and down. And what's happening is a lot of people are being priced out of the sealed product. So people who can no longer afford to, spend $700 on an ETB or $2,000 on a booster bundle case, or even, $200 on an individual booster bundle that's only giving you a measly 6 packs, what people are going to start doing is buying the singles. And as the demand increases for single purchasing, the supply is going to go down. And that is going to cause these cards to just go up in price based off of those factors alone, because there's not that much more supply being added. Because again, it's pretty expensive to rip 151. Not a lot of people have $700 in disposable income to just rip a 151 ETB for fun. It is not really financially responsible to do it. Now, again, if you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, whatever it is, sure, go and rip that 151. But on an average weekday, you're not not going to rip 151 products because of how expensive it is. So the concentration is going to be on single cards, which is going to cause the single cards to go up in price. The last card I have is also Scarlet Violet, and I think this is another excellent example. You know, one thing I've noticed is that the Pokemon Company, they love evolutions. I think that is their money printer. Anytime the Pokemon Company needs increase in revenue, they just print us evolutions. And the Twilight Masquerade Eevee is hands down one of the coolest, cutest illustration rares I think we've gotten in quite a long time. This is a 2024 release, still able to get near mint copies sub $100 as the booster boxes continue aging and getting harder and harder to come by. Same thing as the situation with the Pikachu. The singles are just going to go up. So another really, really good buy. As always, guys, if you do want to support directly the page, new people only, use code YouTube5, 5% off your first order with PokeKingShop.com. If you're a repeat buyer or another new buyer and you've already used this code, use code GIFT as well. I throw in free bonuses with all of your guys' orders. Again, if you guys want to buy any of these cards, go to my eBay store. It'll direct you here. You could literally buy anything you want on eBay, but just by clicking that link, it does help support the channel. But these are some of my favorite picks. A pretty concentrated list today. Eevee, Pikachu, the Groudon. From Stellar Crown, you have the Bulbasaur and Squirtle, and then a specialty set, Black Bolt, we have the Seismitoad, and of course the OG Paldea evolved Magikarp. I think this is a super good list, under $500, and I would say the range of 100 to 500, these are going to be your absolute strongest buys. And I think illustration rares, the same opportunity I felt many years ago for tag team cards is how I feel now about illustration rares, so it is an excellent time to buy. As always, if you have any questions, drop it in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and with that, we will catch you here on the next one.